Hi, my name is Valerie, and sometimes people ask me, how can I stay in such a good mood or upbeat or positive, keep a positive frame of mind as much as I do? And I think the short answer there really is you don't live with me. So I'm not always in a good mood. I'm not always upbeat. I'm not always positive. It just appears that way on the outside. And I think this is the mask that we all use. When we go out shopping, we're not going to be dragging our sad asses around the supermarket, giving out to people and moaning all the time. What I wanted to do was tell you how I handle my low moods when it does happen, because I have suffered quite a lot in the past. I'm not going to go into a big long story, but I suffered from severe, well, I would call it pretty severe mental health problems, which led to a suicide attempt, which was unsuccessful, thankfully. Um, and over the years, I have, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I suppose self-taught some of them, some of the things that I'm about to tell you, and how I manage and stop myself from going spiraling into that really desperate depression again. Because once I came out of it, I haven't really gone back into it, and it's been 12 years now. So these are the things that I'm just going to give you the main things that I do, and how I manage my low moods when it happens. So if you stay to the very end, I'll actually give you the key to how I make all this happen. The first thing I do is, when a low mood comes on me and I know it's going, and I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm not getting out of bed today, or I can't get out of bed today, I'm okay with it. I'm just like, that's okay. It's okay. The trick is to make sure when you wake up in the morning and you can't get out of bed, unless you really have to get out of bed, if you would childcare for or something like that. But if you can't, then be okay with it. I mean, it mightn't work for you, but it works a lot for me and a lot of the girls that I know and things like that. Just be okay with it. Just know that low moods, high moods, in between moods, and all that kind of, they're all perfectly normal. It's how we function in the world. And some days I am not able to get out of the bed, and I'm like, it's okay. But here, like I said before, here's the little trick. Make sure that you don't stay in bed for more than 3 days. Give yourself permission to stay in bed and be okay with it. Like that, I'm going to tell you at the end how I manage this. So whilst I'm there, either in bed or whatever, other things I do, like I said, I don't fight it. I let myself wallow. I just, like, if I have to cry, I'll cry. And I gotta say, it doesn't happen very often now anymore. This might only happen to me maybe 2 or 3 times a year now. Whereas in the early days when I was getting well, it could happen twice a month, So as I got better at it, it became further and further and further apart, okay? So I let myself wallow. I'll stay in bed, I'll have my tablet with me or phone, and yeah, it's poor sleep hygiene. They say, you shouldn't have electronics in the room, but I will make sure to have them, and I'll watch Netflix all day or whatever. Um, I'll stay in my pajamas, and I'll get up when I'm hungry enough, and I'll get up and I'll eat and drink what I want. Now, I don't recommend anybody drinking alcohol. I wouldn't drink alcohol in a low mood, because it's just going to exaggerate it. And I have videos on that if you want to look back on them again. But I eat. I don't eat in bed. I never developed that habit, so I'm lucky in that sense. But I get up, and if I want crisps, I'll eat crisps. If I want cake, I'll eat cake. If it's not there, I might just get dressed and go and buy it, and then come back and then get back into my pajamas. But I'll buy enough for a few days. I'll have ice cream, I'll drink Coke or 7 Up and all the shit that's bad for us. And I'll just go with it and I'll be okay with it. What I do like to do, I will get up during the night, I'll put the telly on and I'll have whatever I'm going to have and then I'll go back to bed. And the reason I do that is, one, I'm wide awake and I don't want to be just lying in the bed listening to my husband snoring. But two, nobody's judging me there. You know, I don't have to be explaining to anybody why I'm eating what I'm eating and why I'm eating so much. Not that I should or anybody should, but it's just easier that way. And the house is quiet, nobody's calling my name or asking me to do anything for them. So sometimes I do that. And again, let me remind you, I never let this go on for more than 3 days. And I'll tell you in a minute how I pull myself out of it. One of the last things that I do when I'm wallowing in it is I either stay silent, so I'll talk to nobody, I'll just kind of keep to myself, or I'll get on the blower to my friends. I'll get on the phone, and I have a circle of friends that most women should always have, that circle of friends where there's maybe 3 or 4 of you, where you know that you can say anything you want. And you know, we all have, out of that circle of friends, we have 1 or 2 that we know that we could say anything we want. Now my circle of friends often laugh at me because I left my my pride and my dignity and everything, I left all that back in 1985. So I do tend to, especially amongst my circle of friends, say whatever I'm feeling at the time. I'm going to tell you now how I pull myself out after the 3 days. So the first thing I'll do is I'll put on some upbeat music. And the reason I put on the upbeat music is just to get myself out of the bed. Now, I usually put on some upbeat music every morning to get myself out of the bed. The second thing I will do is I will make sure I get myself into the swimming pool or the gym. I do swim quite a lot, swim 3 to 4 times a week already. But if I'm in a low mood, I will have pulled away for a few days. So I'll get myself back in the pool. And I do have a personal trainer because I used to weigh 25 stone. I know. And he's been helping me lose all that weight. So I'll make sure that I get back into the pool or back to the gym. The next thing I will do, and this is a key part of the thing, is I will juice for a couple of days. In order to get all the shit and crap that I've been eating, all the chocolate and the ice cream, the Diet Coke or maybe regular Coke, and nachos and mayonnaise dips and all that kind of stuff that I will have eaten over the last few days. I will juice, and I have videos coming up on how I make my juices and things like that. So if you subscribe or if you come over to my page, Valerie, the Habit Changing Queen, you'll be able to follow me how I do that and how I use juicing for weight loss. So that would be another thing. So you see, that's getting my bio, getting my body cleaned out, just getting all the crap out of it. Your body will just heal itself anyway. But if you're constantly chucking shit on it, you're going to struggle. And once you start feeling better, you'll start feeling better as well. The other thing that I do is I ring my girlfriends and we'll talk about maybe going away for a girls' weekend. So what that does is gives me something to look forward to, especially if I'm having like a spiritual crisis, like, oh God, nobody needs me, nobody wants me, I'm no good to anybody, and all that kind of stuff. I know that my friends like me, even if I've been having a row with my husband and he currently doesn't like me. I know that my friends like me and enjoy my company, and I like them and enjoy their company. So if we plan something, even if it's like a month or 6 weeks away, a spa weekend, or just we book into a hotel somewhere for no reason, just to do something, then that's something to look forward to. The key thing that makes all this happen is one word: prepare. Okay, so you're like, how can I prepare for a mental health crisis? How can I prepare for a low mood? You can, because it's coming. Our moods go up and down all the time, and sometimes they go a little bit lower than we planned. And I don't know how old you are, but I'm 50, and over years I have monitored and watched and recorded them. And I think that's kind of another key thing as well, is to maybe mark it in the calendar when it happened last, and you might be able to sync up your moods with your cycles, or even the moon. I don't know, whatever it is. Look for some patterns, and then you can maybe spot it coming. What I do is I prepare. So how do I prepare? I know it's going to happen because I'm human, and I'm a mother, and that's it. And I'm married. Jesus, is that not enough? Just to be married alone. But I know it's going to happen. So what I do, because I'm a harm reductionist, what I do is I prepare and brace for impact. So the way I prepare is I cook some dinners and have them in the freezer. Because when your children are small, I don't have to do it as much as I used to, but when your children are small, it's very hard to spend 2 or 3 days in bed, or 2 or 3 days on the couch watching black and white movies, because they can't cook their own meal, and you mightn't want to get them take out 3 nights a week in that time frame. So if you have something prepared, and in the freezer for emergencies, for things like that, all you have to do is take it out, bang it in the oven, bang it in the microwave, whatever. And if they're old enough, they can nearly do that themselves. So have meals prepared and in the freezer. Something quick, something handy, get it done. The other thing I would do as well is make some juices and freeze juices. The other thing that I do is I pay the small bills in advance, at least a month in advance. So that would be my phone bill, the Netflix, the internet bill, these kind of things. So I know that, if I'm in bed and I'm in a pissed off mood, then I'm not going to get an email saying, oh, your internet bill is due and you don't have the money in the account. Because again, all these things can trigger your mood even worse. So if you get a chance at all, even if you just started by paying €2 or £5 if you could afford it, and just stick it on, add it on to your bill. If you're one that goes to the post office to pay your bills, if your bill is 30 quid, pay 35. And the next week when you're passing the post office, keep your little slip and go in and stick another £5 on it. Whatever way you have to do it, pay the little bills, the internet, the phone, all the, the TV things, Netflix, all the kids' game consoles and all them kind of things. So that's it. I hope you found this helpful and not too boring. It's just that I do get asked, and remember the key is prepare, expect it, it will happen, but use damage control. By using damage control, by letting it happen, just say, okay, I'm just going to let it happen, it's going to be okay. But you have all your backup planned, so you're going to be okay with it. And that's it. Again, like I said, if you want to hear more, come over to Valerie, come over to Facebook, it's Valerie, the Habit Changing Queen, or I have another Facebook page called New Choices for Her. That's where I work with women to help reduce their alcohol intake. And if not, subscribe to my YouTube channel somewhere down here. Okay, bye.